Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I just tried to see if I can share my. Can you see my slide?
Not yet, sir.
Not
Okay.
yet, sir.
No.
Okay, let me see. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, like as been said, I'll be speaking on taking control of your finances. And before we start, let's look at what the Bible says. It says, therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 13. And that's exactly what we don't want to happen to us. And what we'll be sharing this afternoon, basically, there are principles that are already in the Bible. And for those who are not even Christians, they make use of this principle unknowingly to them that they are actually making use of the principle that is the Bible, and they are succeeding. How much more we that are Christians, who knows even the Bible? So whatever I'm going to discuss, it may be something that we all are aware of, or maybe we know about. It's just to reinforce the knowledge. And like this passage says that the reason why people are into one problem or the other is because of lack of knowledge. As the Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge, and we don't want to perish, and we want to take control of our finances because we're going to have knowledge to do so. And in doing that, I want to look at a few things. How do we do that? How do we take control of finances? The first thing is by conscious budgeting. And we can find that in the book of Luke chapter 14, verse 28. I will still talk about that as we go on. And the second point there is the consistent saving, then also careful spending, then stop borrowing, then clear your debts if you do have one, then consistent extra income, then consistent giving, then contentment. The first one is conscious budgeting. So Bible says in Luke 14:20, it says, suppose one of you wants to build a house, a tower, will he not first sit down and estimate the cost to see if he has enough money to complete it? And for anyone who wants to take control of his or finances, he must first and foremost try to plan, to have a focus, to have a goal of what you want to achieve. And for many of us, if you want to do certain things, maybe at work, you discover that when you have a do list, you perform better than when you just do things haphazardly. The same thing applicable with our finances. So if you want to have control over your finance, you must learn how to have a conscious budgeting. And how do we do that? We have weekly, monthly budget, like as mentioned when we're starting this afternoon. So what that means that if you are maybe a salary earner, or you are self-employed, or maybe you are even retired, you are on benefit, you still have to make a regular budgeting. That means that you should make a plan for everything to be spent during the week or month, depending on how your income comes. Then we have what is called one-off budgeting. For example, if you are looking forward to spend money on wedding, it's not something that is going to be every day or every month. So, but it's a one-off. But yet you still have to make a budget for it. Or maybe your annual holiday, you still have to make a budget for it. What that means that on monthly basis or weekly basis, depending on how you get your income, you may have to set something aside towards that until that bill is paid. Then windfall budgeting is when you are expecting money to come from somewhere, maybe bonus at the end of the month, at the end of the year in the office. Don't just wait until the money comes. Just plan for it. And say, when this money comes, this is what I'm going to use it for. That is part of budgeting. Or maybe you are expecting a tax refund at the end of the financial year. Then make a budget for it. Just think about what you're going to spend that money on. Because by the time the money comes, if you don't have a proper budget, you don't have a proper goal for it, you discover that the money will just strip away without knowing. Also, how do we do that? the first thing is to set a realistic goal on what you want to achieve. Realistic in the sense that if you have £1,000 coming in, you don't make a plan for £2,000 unless you are get something from somewhere else. So it has to be realistic. For example, if you have a £1,000, you don't say at the end of this month I'm going to buy a car worth 5,000. So that is not realistic. So that budget already from the beginning it has failed. Then you list and calculate your income. What is your income? Then what are those things that you want to spend money on? Your expenses. Then you need to make what is called, you prioritize. You do what is called like a scale of preference, which are the ones that are important. For example, essential, maybe your house rent, your mortgage, your council tax, all those ones are essential. Your electricity bill, your gas bill, all those things that are essential. Other things that are not essential are those maybe eating out and all that. So you have to make a proper budget for it. Then when you do that, then what you need to do is like competition. That is, you compute, you take your expense out of your income. Then that will give you exactly the percentage that you are. Then on a regular basis, you review your budget to see, am I meeting up to it? Am I going through this budget? What is going to happen? Am I going to make some cutback? What am I going to do? So you make a review. Then when you have expenses, if your expenses is less than your income, that means you have surplus. So when you have surplus, what do you have to do? You have to make savings based on that surplus that you have. But where your expenses is equal your income, it is what is called balanced budget. But that means that you have just broken even. So, and it's very dangerous anyway. So what you have to do is to make some cut back, because what you are looking forward to is to have a surplus so that you'll be able to have something. Because if you have a balanced budget, if there's any emergency, then definitely you are going to get a deficit budget because you are going to spend money that you don't have budget for. Then if your expenses is greater than your income, that is what you have going out is more than what you have coming, you have what is called deficit budget. So what you have to do is that you need to increase your income and decrease your spending. Now, when you do your budget, you must, like I said, you must have a plan. And I call it 10-20-70 rule. 10%, that is your tithe. 10% is little compared to what God gives to every one of us. Then savings, 20%. Look forward to making sure that at least you have 20% of your savings. Remember the story in the book of Genesis? Joseph asked the people to bring all that. They have 20% of what they have. And that 20% was more than enough to take them through 7 years of famine. So the same thing applicable. If you apply that kind of system, that's the 1/5. So if it worked for Joseph in Genesis in Egypt, then it can also work for us. So unless you have debt, if you have debt, then make sure that you clear your debt before you think about saving. Then 70%, that is housekeeping, paying your rent or mortgage or any other thing. If you try as much as possible to see that maybe you don't spend more than 70% of your income on all other expenses. This may not necessarily work for everybody, but definitely it's just like what is expected. And it may even be better for someone else because it is possible that you are spending less than 70% on your housekeeping. For example, if somebody already have paid off his mortgage, he may not necessarily need to pay a substantial amount every month for mortgage or that kind of thing. So it's not that it fits everyone, but definitely that is what is expected. Then consistent savings. That's the second point. Bible says in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20, it says there is a precious treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man swallows it up. What that means is that if somebody is foolish, he wants to eat everything that he has without thinking of tomorrow. Like this lady says, it says, little drops of water, little grains of sand make the pleasant land. You may not know it, but that little coins, that is going out or that is coming, at the end of the day, it become a mighty ocean. Then how do we do savings? I categorize into 3. Regular income. From your regular income, you can do savings. Then cutbacks, like do it yourself. Then utility bills, you can have some savings there. savings is not only just because you get £1,000 and you save £200 in it. No, there are ways that you can save that at the end of the day you discuss, they will add up to a bountiful income at the end of the day. Let's do it yourself, water bills and energy bills. And let's look at income. Save at least, no matter how little your income is. If at all if you are on a welfare benefit, maybe you are £73 a week, on income. Still, as much as possible, save at least if it's 1% of that income, put it into your savings. But the goal is to save up to 20%, but try as much as possible to save something. Don't say that I don't have enough. Just try to save. If at all if it's even 0.5% of your income, save it. Then how do you do that? You can have a direct credit, like a standing order. Place it on your normal regular account, that on a monthly basis or weekly basis, let this £10 goes to this account. With that, that's like you are handing the control of that savings. You are not going physically to the bank. Anyway, some of the banks are closing down anyway in the having a physical interaction. Then you have what's called coin jar. All those brown coin, silver coin that they mean nothing to you. Just try to drop it somewhere in the corner of your house, in a glass jar. At the end of the month, you discover that, or at the end of the year, you discover that something has come up. I remember some years ago, we have something like that. And by Christmas time, by the time we took it to the supermarket, we discovered that it's more than enough to add to it to buy a turkey. Then how do we then want to talk of cutbacks? Maybe there's some people that maybe take about maybe 2 bottles of Coca-Cola maybe every day. Just try as much as possible to just change it to 1. If you cut back 50p on a Coke or whatever drink it is in a day, by the end of the year you discover that you have saved £182.50. And also direct debits. Some of these payment of bills, if you set off a direct debit, maybe on mobile phone, you will not be penalized for £3 a month. Some of the phone provider today, they charge £3 every month if you're not paying by direct debit. And even energy companies also, if you are paying by direct debit, they give you a discount about £5 every month. I can attest to that. So that means that you save £60 every year. Then some people do still receive their statement, their bank statement, their bills by paper because of the traditional way of I want to see it written. But don't forget that as many of these people are charging £1.50 for each of those statements every month, and if that is cut back, you are saving £18 every year. Then TV subscription, that one is very, very important. Many of us today, we have Sky, we have all those, maybe BT, try as much as possible. If you cannot even cancel it altogether, cut back, I can attest to that many times, you don't necessarily have to, I don't even know if you have the time to even watch the whole TV series or whatever the case may be, but there's free view channels that you can watch, Average Londoner pay about £30 every month to Sky or to BT. And if you can cut that off, that means you are saving £360 a year. That's a lot of money by the time you put together. Then also it has mentioned before about do it yourself. I did this research about some years ago. I don't know if the coffee is more than £2.50 now, but if you buy coffee £2.50 every day, and I calculated based on 48 weeks, if you're going to work, like Tolu said the other time, that is spend about £8 a day, so that shows that you'll be spending you'll be spending about £600 every year, just on coffee. But you may not realize it because it's just £2.50 to give to the coffee man and you go, not knowing. But if you prepare it yourself, it will cost you about 22p to prepare that cup of coffee that you are buying for £2.50 every day. And by the end of the year, you are spending you are saving £549.60. Then car wash is another example. I just use this one because of our time, just few. Like in our area, average vehicle, if you take it to car wash, it costs you £15, you know. So, and if you are washing your car every week, £15, you will spend £780 in a year. And if you are washing it twice in a month, you are spending £390 that's £390 in a year. Then, but if you wash it yourself, the soap, the detergent, and the water that you use will not cost you even up to £5. So that means that if you are washing your car every week by yourself, you are saving about £520, you know, a year. You know, so that is how to do all those savings that we thought that are difficult. Then also water bills, you know, less shower, you know, you save a lot of money. Less time under the shower, you could save up to £7 per person. So that means if you are 4 in the household, you are saving about £20, you know, in a year. That means just spend 1 minute less. If you are the type that used to spend about 10 minutes, you know, in the bathroom, try to reduce to 9 minutes. You discover that you are saving £7, you know, for doing that. Then bowl washing, you know, don't wash your plates by just putting it and let the flow of the water running. No, put the water in a bowl, wash it there, then dispose the water. If you do that, you are saving about £25 every year, you know. And also try as much as possible to see if it's possible for you to meter your water usage. You know, some people like maybe house owners, you know, some of them, they don't even bother to have a water meter. They just, you know, pay whatever the Thames Water or whoever is supplying the water bring to them at the end of the year or quarterly. But if you meter it, you know, the Energy Savings Trust are saying that you'll be saving about £120 every year. And also, what of on your energy bills? You know, unplug all those things that you are permanently plugged. You know, don't put them on standby. Especially like TV. You know, the standby on TV, if the TV is off and it's on standby, the chart shows that you are still paying about 40% of the cost if it's on. See, but many of us, we always put our TV on standby. You know, so but if you just put it off, if you are not watching the TV or any of those gadgets, then you'll be saving about £35 every year. Then switch off the lights if there's no need for it, you know. And if you do that, you'll be saving about £14 a year also. Then let's wash. If you wash, maybe you normally wash maybe 5 times in a day. If you try to a week, if you try to reduce it by to 4 times, then you'll be saving about £8 a year on that. Then also electricity bulb. Then the traditional one that we normally use, if you can change it to the LED bulb, you are saving about £40 every year. Then thermostat. Many of us, when we travel, and we don't bother about turning down our thermostats. You know, especially if there's nobody at home, the house will heat itself. We do all that without anybody inside. Then, but if you turn down your thermostats, you know, by just 1 degree, you could save about £80 yearly, even while you are at home. Then also try as much as possible to shop around to see if you can switch your supplier. You know, sometimes there's no loyalty in terms of customer to any of these providers. Don't say that I'm loyal to BT or I'm loyal to Eon. You know, I'm loyal to this. No, there's no loyalty there. Most of the time, you discover that even those that are coming newly, they are the one that they will give discounts to. So try as much as possible. If I've stayed with them for, maybe I've finished your own contract with them for 1 year or 18 months, try to shop around us to see if you have a better deal somewhere else. Then on common sense, dry your clothes outside during nice weather. Try to only boil the water that you need. You know, if you need just 1 cup of tea, you don't have to put on the whole kettle, you know, full. You know, just if many of these kettles that we have today have the measurements, you know, on them to 1 cup, 2 cups. So look at what you want to use. Just boil the one that you need. Then close your curtains at dusk. Stop, you know, heat escaping. Don't leave laptops and mobile phones charged unnecessarily. Many of us are guilty of that. Just put on even up to the following morning. You know, when that's even charged 100%, you still leave it there. Then load the dishwasher that you want completely before use. If you put one plate inside a dishwasher, it's going to cost you the same amount of money if you put 10. And so, and also for young ones also, maybe you want to wash your trainers. You just take your own trainer and put in your washing machine, just rolling and just washing one trainer. Instead of to ask the family members, do you have something to wash? Do you have something to wash? Let them put together, make sure that thing is full before going ahead to do that. You save you a lot of money. Then also, there are some things that you can get that many people are not aware of. You can get help from the government. If you are doing the cold weather payment, there's what is called cold weather payments. It helps for those who have maybe the heads are eating, because when it is very cold, there's a limit to which the coldness in this country must reach before that can be counted to be emergency. And before it gets to that, you can actually, if your house is cold, you can actually ask for government help in that respect. It's called cold weather payments. Then warm home discount also, you can get up to £140 off your electricity bill under the warm home discount scheme. For example, if you're on benefit or you are a pensioner, you can actually get that. Also winter fuel payment. This winter fuel payment normally is supposed to be automatic to those who are pensioners. For those who are born between before or on the 1st of January 1954, that's about 67 years now or so. So you are entitled to about £200 every year to support you. And for those who are at the pension age, you're supposed to come to that, but these days they don't normally do it. So what you need to do is to just apply for it, and you will get it. That's part of how you can have savings. Then the next one is careful spending. Bible says in Proverbs 21 verse 5, say the plans of the diligent lead surely to advantage, but everyone who is hasty comes surely to poverty. It is very, very important when we want to spend. Don't let us be eager to just spend. Let's take control of how we do that spending. Then I put it here as a chart. Before you purchase, take an intentional approach. Is this a need or a want? Look at the products. If it's a need, yes. Is it a need? Yes. Is it affordable? Yes. Even where it is affordable, does the budget allow for this purchase? If it's yes, then go and buy it. But if it's not a need, then that means it's a want. Then if it's a want, do you have surplus? If it's no, if you don't have any surplus to meet that obligation, then forget it, don't buy it. But if you have surplus, yes, but you still have to ask yourself, can I do without it? You can wait, okay? And if you wait, if there's surplus, then you can buy later. Then if where you have a need, is it affordable? If it's not affordable, but it's a need, then you wait. If it's no, then you wait. Then when you have surplus, then you go and buy it. Then also, I put here careful spending. Use cash where possible. Most of the time, when you have cash, maybe you are going out, you have £50 cash, and you have your card at home. You are very sure that you are not going to spend more than that £50 because you don't have your card with you. So, but if you have a card with you, then it's a matter of just swap the card, and then the money goes out. So you can it may motivate you to buy what you don't actually need. Then monitor your bank account. This one is very, very important. I discovered some I think maybe last year or so, or 2 years ago, not knowing that one of the insurance that we have, they were taking money twice for the same insurance for almost a year, until I just decided to check, and I have to call them to tell that this before they make that refund. So there are a lot of things that could happen in such a way. Then stop updating your phone. There's no need of having this mobile phone new one every year or whatever the case may be. Try as much to use the one that if it's working, and then why do you have to have a new one? Then shop for value, not for name. Don't be brand conscious. Don't say that I must wear Nike, I must wear Adidas, I must wear this, I must wear that. Even in the process, like I used to say, that you are trying to help them to advertise their product without being paid. So it's something that you have to be Very careful about. Then careful of loyalty card. This one is very important also. When you have a loyalty card, there's this motivation for you to go to that place to go and buy that product. If at all, if it's more expensive than where you don't have a loyalty card, so you'll be running to go to there because you have a loyalty card. You are going to have a point at the end of the day. Be aware of it. Then live with credit, not by credit. What that means is that if you have £120 as savings, it's better than you to have £120 as a minus. So live with credit and not by credit. Then curb impulse purchase. Impulse purchase is like sometimes you are in a mood. It's like you are taking control of something. So, and therefore you want to buy, even those things that you don't need. So how do you now avoid that? Clear the cookies on your computer, all those that are saved there, just clear it because they won't, so that you won't have them to come to you all the time. Then give yourself a cooling off period. A cooling off period is when you have to think about certain things to see do you have to go for it or not. So maybe about 2 days, think over it, pray over it and see if it's something that's needed. Then on following accounts on social media, unsubscribe for marketing emails, make time for other things rather than spending money on things that are not needed. Then curb borrowing. That's the next one. Dry crumbs in peace are better than a full meal with strife. Proverbs 17 verse 1. Victor Hugo says, a creditor is worse than a slave owner, for the master owns only your person, but a creditor owns your dignity and can command it. That's a very strong word. So curb borrowing, that means loan is not a gift. You must pay back. Avoid pay later bait. Stop the cycle of borrowing to pay for expenses. You don't have to buy everything that you desire. No money, no purchase. Shop around. Sometimes £1 that you save a week by shopping around, by the end of the year, you have saved £52. Then wait and save for purchase. Then what are the alternatives to borrowing? Use your savings to pay for those that you needed. Then peer group contribution, which is called Ajo in the Yoruba language, have people that maybe of like minds, Christian like you can maybe have 5 of you. If you need something, then you can contribute. This month take the £500. Next month, this. So for those who understand what I'm saying, it's called Ajo. Then ask friends and family. Then also ask for grants. There are a lot of that are available that people they're not aware of. You can have grants. You can have grants, which is called like a green home grant for home improvement. Maybe you need to do some things in your home. You can get that from the government. DHP, that's discretionary housing payment. There are a lot of that, which is free. Grant is free. You don't have to pay back. Then there are energy trust funds, which help to pay your bill, your energy bill and all that. Then if you want to know more about this, how to get grants, you can just go to Turn to Us, which will tell you different type of grants you have. Then that's what I put this one here as a sustainable borrowing, because maybe someone may be asking question, does it mean that there is no way you can borrow? Yes, when, what, and why. When, inevitable cost. I call it inevitable cost because, for example, what can you borrow for? Mortgage. Why? Because paying for somewhere to live. So if you don't borrow money to buy a house, you will still have to pay rent. So, and when you are paying rent, you are helping somebody to build his own portfolio or to build his own investment. So, but if you have a mortgage, if you cannot afford to buy it outrightly, and you have a loan and you use it to buy a house, as you are living in that house, you are benefiting from living there, and you are also investing because the house will be appreciating in value at the end of the month. So it is a sustainable, but though the golden rule is to borrow only if you have a clear plan of repayment. Then secondly is income boost. Income boost, like student loan, is an income boost because if you need money to go to school, to university, or for example, then at the end of the day, that the outcome of it is that it will boost your future income. Then also under the income boost, you have the startup capital. You can borrow money to invest on your investment, on your business. Then income maximization, I call it debt consolidation. Then when you have the opportunity to cut spending, For example, if you have debts, maybe you are owing £5,000 and the interest rate was about 5%, maybe about 2 years ago. Now they have cut down this interest rate to about maybe 1%. You can go back to the bank or somewhere else and borrow that same £5,000, at a lower rate, maybe about 1%, to clear the previous debt. That is debt consolidation. So by that, you can borrow money to do that. Then income protection, credit card. In this country, we have what is called Section 75 of Consumer Credit Act of 1974, which protects you if you are buying something between £100 and £30,000. That means that if you have a credit card, you can use it as a form of a protection for what you are purchasing. For example, if you have if you are the type that normally travel a lot and there is issue with flight, so you have a second protection remedy if anything goes wrong. Then constant extra income. Proverbs 31 verse 14 and 16 says, she is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She considers a field and buys it from her profit, and she plants a vineyard. You need to get extra income. Create, when talk about creating is that you have to decide to do something, be creative about what you need to do to be able to get extra income. And I put the first one, I said, look for a gap and fill it. Don't mind the gap in this time, but fill the gap. That's what all these people that we have today that have money, that's what they did. When we have this iPad, nobody knew that it would be useful to us, but somebody thought that this is something that I think that would be useful, and it just drop it on our laps. And today everybody is, using it. So then know your value. If you are a salary earner, you know that you have a value that is you are being undervalued or underpaid. You can ask for a pay rise. Then teaching and tutoring, you can do that. Use social media platform. Start a blog. Write a book. School run and babysitting. Share your skill. You can, if you are very good grammatically, you can be doing proofreading at the corner of your home and for people, and you'll be paid for it. Take a lodger. Advertise on your car. If you are the type that you don't mind, if somebody putting sticker of his company on your car, then you pay, you get money for it on monthly basis. Then dispose. Sell unwanted household items at boot sales. Sell old books. Sell empty iPhone boxes. Sell old tech accessories and phones. Sell old wedding dress. There's no sentiment in it. If you don't need it, why do you have to keep a wedding dress about £1,000 at home for how many years? So you can just dispose it. Then recycle printer cartridge. Then downsize. If you are living in a 3-bedroom house, and maybe you have children, and there's a need for you to, maybe you are the only one that is left, or you are the spouse, and if you don't have, because the more you have, the more expenses that you incur in maintaining that house, you can downsize to the one that is suitable for you. Then also claim, and I put this on claims and reclaim. You can claim your benefits, entitlements. Many people don't understand that they have things that they can, claim. Check and see if you have something to claim. Uniform tax rebates. If you are the type that wear uniform, maybe you work with NHS or any of the company or construction company that has a logo on it, you can claim tax for it, tax return for it. Then check your tax code and claim refund. Government grants and scheme. Then reclaim. You can reclaim package banks fees, train tube and flight delays, reclaim bank charges, car or bike damage by potholes. This one also, if you discover that maybe you are moving a particular road and the car you are riding on or bike got damaged because of the potholes, you can make a claim from the local authority of that place. Then clear your debts. Pay to all. Bible says in Romans 13:7, pay to all what is owed to them. Taxes to whom taxes are owned. Revenue to whom revenue is owned. Respect to whom respect is owned. Honor to whom honor is owned. And the August says, it says, some debts are fun when you are acquiring them, but none are fun when you set about to retire them. That is very, very true. So clear your debt. How do you do that? Sort out how much money you own. Work out if you have got money after cutting non-essential. Deal with the most urgent debts as a matter of priority. Look at, priority means that if you are owing council tax, it's very important because the ultimate sanction of it, if you don't pay, is imprisonment. So that's an important kind of debt. Then look at options of dealing with them. If you need help, seek help from a free paying organization who do help you. Then pay off with savings. Don't keep savings if you are owing money. Use the savings to pay off. I just quickly put here, for example, for those who have mortgage, you can pay extra your mortgage. If, for example, you have a mortgage of £20,000, if you pay £10,000 as maybe one-off payment, in the course of that mortgage term, you have saved about £9,000 on interest, and then 1 year and 8 months of the terms of the mortgage. And if you want to be saving regular, if you want to be paying regularly every month, if you are paying £50 on top of your mortgage, for example, if the mortgage is £200,000 and the interest rate is 2.7%, you are saving £5,000, £888, through the lifetime of the mortgage, and you have 1 year and 9 months, reduced by the time of the mortgage. And if you are paying £250 extra, for example, you have saved £22,000, over interest, and 6 years and 11 months, on it out of the time of the mortgage. Then also your credit card. There are many people that have credit card, they only pay minimum payment. Minimum payment will not suffice, So for example, this is an analogy. You have £50,000 on your credit card and you are making a minimum payment of £84. At the end of the day, it will cost you £8,000. It will cost you a total of £8,214, Then if you are paying just £6 more extra, you are going to pay off that debt within 4 years. Meanwhile, if you are paying the minimum payment, you are going to use 28 years to pay it off. Wow. And if you just add about £34 to it, then every year, then you'll be saving about £2,981, and it will only take you 2.5 years or 2 years, 9 months to pay it off.
2 more minutes, sir. 2 more minutes.
Okay, yeah. So I quickly run to this, and then giving. Bible says in Proverbs 11:24-26, there is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that who doeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. And that's that. Then let's quickly look at it. Consent saving, giving tithes and offering, which says in Malachi chapter 3, verse 8-12. So if you are giving tithes, are you giving tithes? If it's yes, then your income is being protected. The Bible says that I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. So the income that you have is being protected by paying your tithes. Then income maximization. The Bible says that the windows of heaven it will open concerning you, and the room will not be able to contain even what the outflow or the inflow of that blessing. So if you are not paying tax, do you want to change? Do you want to start? If it's yes, then you also get that income protection and maximization. If it's no, I said that you should intensify your prayers. Then other givings. Then needs shall be supplied. I put here, Pastor. Many of us, we quote that Philippians 4:19, but we do not normally read it from verse 15. If you read from verse 15, it is the prayer of Apostle Paul to those who gave. So most of the time, when you give to leaders, their prayer is that my God shall supply your needs. So it is good to give. Abundance blessing. Okay, so that is that. Then lastly, let me see. Okay, just how to give bountifully, cheerfully, liberally, with ability and all that. So how not to give. Then let's just go to the last one, which is contentment. Having food and clothing, with this we shall be content. So this last bit now, contentment. Develop reasonable living style. Even where you can afford things that are non-essential, it may not be necessary to buy them. 2, develop a priority mindset. Don't allow things that are urgent take over things that are important. Sometimes things that are urgent may not be important. Set a firm priority always. 3, develop planning attitude. Before that is, go with shopping lists when you go out. Then 4, which is the last one, develop thanksgiving attitude. Give thanks for everything, including your present financial position. In everything, give thanks.